everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my very first video with a brand new microphone. I'm so happy that I have this microphone, you guys, because before I just found my sound really tinny and all that kind of stuff. So especially when I film my main videos, because I film it on an actual camera versus when I film my vlogs, I film them on my phone. It has naturally better sound than my camera does, which makes me so sad. But anyways, that is all besides the point. Today we are here because I've been seeing a trend recently on BookTube where people have been going back and revisiting videos from early 2020 to see if they've completed their whatever they set out to do in that video. I've seen 2020 goals as such and that kind of a discussion. And since I've already done my 2020 goals, I wanted to do a video looking back on one of my other videos that I did at the beginning of 2020, which is series I want to finish in 2020. I'm going into this video knowing that I haven't finished it and haven't actually finished all of these series. But that's okay because there's always 2021 to keep these going. But yes, let's go through this and see if I did finish these series or if I failed. But yeah, let's go through it together.
Hello everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen, and welcome back to my channel.
I remember when I had an intro. That's cute.
Today I am coming at you with a video about the series that I want to finish in 2020. So these are series that I have started already, either the first book, the first two books, or the first few books if it's a longer series, and really would like to get to the end of in 2020. So this is kind of like a 2020 TBR, but series based, and I'm really excited about it. Without further ado, I guess, let's get into this. So the very first one I'm going to talk about is the Queens of Olympus series by Sarah Beth Durst. This is the third book. This is the only book that I have yet to read in this trilogy, and I would love to wrap this up really early in 2020.
Alright, so first one is the Queens of Olympus, which is a trilogy set in a fantastically cool world. It is one of my favorite worlds that I've ever read from a fantasy standpoint, and I have finished this one. This one I ended up reading really early in 2020. I finished this last book and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite of the three. I think the first one was my favorite. The first two were fantastic. The third one was not my favorite, but I see why it was wrapped up in that way, and I still really enjoyed it. But yeah, alright, first one, we're on a good track, guys.
This has just been one of my favorite trilogies that I've read in a long time, especially fantasy. The next one I want to talk about is actually the only series that I have on this list, at least, that I don't own anything other than the first book of, and that is the Bear and the Nightingale trilogy by Catherine Arden. I read this recently, literally last week, and I really loved it. To me, this first one was really slow going. It was
Alright, so we failed this one. Mainly because I don't actually own the next two in this series, and I've never gone to seek them out. But I still would love to finish this trilogy because, as I say in this video, this first one is very atmospheric and really, really lovely. It reads like a fairy tale, which is awesome. So I definitely want to finish this one at some point. I don't know when I will be able to get my hands on the next two in the series, but I would love to finish them at some point.
The next one is actually a middle grade series that I have finished the first either 3 or 4 of. I can't really remember. I believe it's only the first 3, and there are currently either 7 or 8 of these books out.
I just want to say it's really hard for me to watch these old videos because the way I edited them, I would keep in the pauses and the humming and hawing that I did, which I try to remove now because it keeps videos much more concise and more interesting as well, because when you're waiting for someone to say something, you kind of just sit there come on, say it, and this is driving me crazy, but that's okay, we'll keep going.
7 of them. So I would love to finish the Keeper of the Lost Cities trilogy, trilogy. It's not a trilogy, it's a series. I just said there's like 8 books in this series. I don't know if the 8th book is the last book or if there's going to be more. So this is kind of a finishing.
Alright, so that did not happen. I did read up until book 5 though this past year in 2020. I read up to the 5th book, and I believe there are 8 books in this series, but it's kind of fallen out of favor with me because I find the series a little bit too convoluted and there's so much going on that doesn't need to be going on. The books are so long and there's just so much happening that I don't think needs to be happening. It's kind of gotten out of control from that original plot line. So it's interesting, but I will probably, hopefully, finish them. I do own the 6th book. And I do believe there are currently 8 books in the regular series out, and then there is an extra book that's been released that has a novella from one of the other characters' points of view in it, and then like some other world stuff that is included. But I won't be getting that one, I don't think, because I'm just not that big of a fan of this anymore, which is so sad. But that's another series I didn't finish in 2020.
Now, the next series is one that is a little to me, because I am tired of this world a little bit. I say that, and I know there's another book coming out this year that I'm very excited about because it is a continuation of some of the old, like the Victorian era part of this series. But I would really love to finish this particular one, and that is the Lady Midnight trilogy. What's it called? The Dark Artifices trilogy. I've finished the first one, and
well, my friends, that did not happen. I did not finish that one. I don't even think I've read the second one, the Shadow one. Lord of Shadows? Yeah, no, I haven't done that, and I don't know when I will. I do stand by the fact that I'm getting tired of this world, mainly because there's just so many books and it feels exhausting if you are a new reader coming to it, because there are at least 14 books in this series. I think there's more, but like, there's just so many. Even if you eliminate all the other novellas and short stories and stuff, there's so many in this canonical world that are just there, and it's just a lot of work to get through. But I do really love the Chain of Iron trilogy, and I do hope to continue that one. Chain of Gold? Was that the first one? I think so. Whatever the newest trilogy she's working on is, I hope to finish that one as well as they come out, because I do have the next one on pre-order for this year because I really enjoyed that one. But I don't know if I will ever really go into this series. Maybe if I'm really bored one day I will, but I did not read this one.
The next series is one that finished last year with 4 books, and people really, really adore this series from what I've heard. I've also heard like negative reviews, but that's just because people have differing opinions on every single book that you read. But in my opinion, I really enjoy these books, and I have so far read the first 2, and I read them last year, I believe in October, November, and that is the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. So I have this one left, and then the 4th one, which I have not yet picked up. I'm hoping that I can wait until it comes out in paperback, because I don't like when my series don't match in style. So, but yes, this is by Carrie Maniscalco.
That still stands. Don't like when my series don't match. But 1, I have not picked up this 4th one. I have also not picked up the 3rd one. I intended to read it in October, but I don't think it ended up being on my October TBR because of the way that like I was doing the TBR mug thing, and it just didn't end up on it, even though I wanted it to be. But I did read a Carrie Maniscalco this past October. I read her newest release, Kingdom of the Wicked. Didn't do this one either.
So this next one is a little bit of a kick to the gut that I haven't finished it yet, because I have tried now twice to get through this trilogy, and I've read the first book now twice, and I really love the first book, but haven't yet continued, and that is the Darker Shade of Magic series by V.E. Schwab. I do realize it's out of order for you guys on my camera, so there.
Yes, I have finished this one. I did. I finished it. And I'm very proud of myself that I did. I liked the first one, didn't really like the second one, and I loved the last one. So I did it. I finished a trilogy I finished one of these. Oh my gosh, what's that been, like 2 in this whole video so far? Yeah.
So the next one is another middle grade. Or is it a middle grade? that was any sign. Probably not. Everything's falling now.
You know what's crazy? This was the video that I filmed right before I broke my hand that same day. This was the day that I broke my hand. And all these books falling was a sign, because later, as I was filming the beginning of another video, a book fell and I went to go catch it and I broke my hand doing so. This is just spooky. But anyways, that is like nothing to do with this video. But yeah, that happened. So it was a sign. It was a sign. I was correct.
All I know is that, well, if you didn't know, it is the Heroes of Olympus series? Yes. The Heroes of Olympus series that I cannot hold. I only have 4 of them. I know there's 5. But I read the first one last year after I did an entire reread of the Percy Jackson series and then finished the 5th book, which I hadn't ever read. And I loved it. If you haven't seen that vlog, I will link it somewhere on the screen because it is one of my favorites that I've done.
Right, well, I did do this. I ended up finishing this incredible series this past summer, I think. Like, it was, I think I read the last book for the reading rush, and I really enjoyed this one. It was fantastic, and I love Rick Riordan, and it really kicked off my love for Rick Riordan last year, which has just been great, and I cannot wait to keep going with his Trials of Apollo series and the Magnus Chase one as well. This year, my goal is to finish the Kane Chronicles one, start and finish, because I have all 3 of those books. They are on my shelves, so I can actually do that without breaking a book buying ban. The other ones, I would have to buy more of the books to do that. So that's my goal for this year, is to finish the Kane Chronicles, but maybe I should do like an updated version of this video and revisit it again next year. Let me know what you guys think if I should do that.
Alright, I believe there are 2 more of these series that I have yet to finish, and they're right here on my windowsill. The first one I would like to finish is one that I didn't realize I was going to try and finish. When I first read the first book, I was intrigued by it enough to keep going with the read, but I didn't love it like a lot of people did. But when I voiced this opinion, people were always they just kept saying, keep reading the series because it just gets better. And now, since the 3rd book and the last book is out of this series, people have just been raving about it. Oh, I spoiled it, but it is Scythe. I would love to finish his trilogy. I'm probably going to have to reread Scythe before I go into Thunderhead.
Well, I got halfway there. I did read Thunderhead, and I did enjoy it, but I am of the opinion of the small percentage here on BookTube that doesn't really love this trilogy a whole lot. A lot of people have been saying that it's like their favorite trilogy, and I don't like it to that level. I just can't connect to any of the characters, and the one character that I connect to is not even one of the main characters, and something happens to them in the 2nd book. But I don't know when I'm going to get to the Toll, but I did get partway through this goal. I did read Thunderhead. I just didn't read the Toll. So there is that. But maybe one day, hopefully one day, because I would like to know what happens. I'm intrigued enough to know to want to know what happens with this series, you know? So we'll find out, but it's not a priority of mine anymore.
And finally, the very last one on my list, and the very last one that I could find on my shelves, is the Final Empire, or the Mistborn trilogy. I have finished the Final Empire, which was the first one. Oh, you can't even tell because it just says Mistborn on the cover. This is why people get really confused, but this is Mistborn, or the Final Empire.
I did finish this one. I ended up finishing the last one, the Hero of Ages. It was the last book that I read in 2020. The last one. I finished it, I believe, on New Year's Eve, which was fantastic, and it was absolutely incredible. If you want to get into adult fantasy, try the Mistborn trilogy. Trust me, it's amazing. It is so good, and I absolutely adore it, and I want to reread this trilogy so badly, but I did it. We ended this video on a good note. I actually finished that series. How many was that? Like the Queens of Renthia, the Dark Shade of Magic, and the Heroes of Olympus, and Mistborn. I finished 4 out of however many that was in that video. So sort of good. I did read a lot of books, so that's pretty awesome, but I didn't finish everything that I wanted to, which is okay. But yes, my friends, so that is my updated series I want to finish in 2020. This year, as I said, I would like to finish the Kane Chronicles, and just on the top of my head, thinking about series that I want to finish, I have one that immediately comes to mind, and that is the An Ember in the Ashes saga. I am currently 50 pages into the last book. I don't know if that's kind of a cop-out, but I'd love to finish that one this year. And I don't really know. I would have to go look at my shelves to see which books I have that are part of the series that I haven't finished yet. But if you guys want a part 2 to this, if you want me to do an updated series I want to finish in 2021, let me know, because I would be more than happy to. That's about it, my friends. I'm kind of proud of myself for finishing at least 4 of these series, because that did include reading a fair amount of books. I read the entire Heroes of Olympus series from book 2 to 5, which is awesome. I did get partway on the Scythe trilogy. I did read Thunderhead, which is amazing as well. But the other ones, we will find out when I finish them, if I finish them. But yeah, if you stick around on my channel, you'll find out, I guess, eventually. But yes, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like this video if you haven't yet. It lets me know that you like this kind of content. And make sure to comment down below. If you don't know what to comment a book stack emoji, because then you comment anyways. Or tell me if you want a part 2 to this video, because that would be great as well. And I will catch you in another video soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.